Hello, everyone. This is Steph, the Educator. Welcome back to Essential Pedagogy. It is officially summer. The summer solstice has arrived. I love the hand claps. Hey, I just want to welcome all those who are new to watching this channel, and just welcome back those who have been watching this channel from day one. My hope is that as a result of listening to this podcast, um, that people within our profession and all others grow in compassion for one another by getting the inside and outside view of this complex structure called the American education system. So I am out of I guess you call the Southwest region or the Southern region of North America, which is what we know as Texas. And so I am hoping you don't hear anything in the background, but right now I'm just in a different location. I'm trying to make it all work. So, as we know, this is live and I'm trying to make it all work out. It is summertime, and I am busier than I thought I would be in the summertime. I have already been to a 3-day professional development, and I have a couple of more days of professional development to go. I am, a lot of people think that teachers have a full 3 months of of off time and vacation, and that's just not the case. I might have 7 weeks. But it's definitely not the 3 months people say, right? So anyhow, I just got back from a professional development called the AVID Institute. And I don't know if you know anything about AVID, but it's a great program that districts can subscribe to for their, it's a program actually, not just a, how people have learning management systems and things like that. No, it's a whole program with educators being at the pillar or foundation. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And it is a framework for college and career readiness, which, my goodness, when I first heard about AVID, I thought I was the advocate. I am the advocate. I'm a candidate for AVID. And really, AVID is for all children, but really we focus in on the child that does not have a family history of, or maybe they're the first generation college graduate. So when I first started in AVID, it was all focused on the possibility of the first time graduate in the person's family. So we focused on just a certain demographic of kids, not demographic as what you would think of, like if they're Black or Hispanic or what have you, but a demographic of, hey, your parents may be of a blue collar type profession, did need college, maybe had some vocational training, things like that for their everyday profession. So we wanted these kids who had the potential to help develop them into the type of students that would be successful in college. So what AVID is, it's rooted in rigor, breaking down barriers, aligning the classwork, and advocating for students. And that's just what an AVID teacher does. Now, I'm not an AVID teacher. Well, I am. we're all avid teachers who promote the ideals and the structure in which Avid pushes out their ideals and helping students. So I'm not the Avid teacher and coordinator. I am a science teacher that supports Avid techniques and teaching structures. So I'm a science teacher. I have I started work at the not at the district, at the school that I currently teach. Um, this will be my third year. And after probably the first couple of months I was at this school, I had the Avid teacher approach me and she said, "Hey, I see that you use Cornell notes." And I said, "I certainly do." Because Cornell note taking and interactive notebook taking is part of the strategies that the Avid program uses. And I said, "I sure do." And she said, "Well, where did you learn that?" And I said, "Well, I used to be an Avid teacher. I used to be at an Avid driven school. And so it was best practices for me. Like it really fit in the way that I thought kids could learn and get deeper understanding of material." So there's Cornell note taking, and coupled with Costa's levels of questioning. I mean, the possibilities are endless with the achievement you can see in students. So I used those strategies. She noticed that. So now I'm on the site team for my new campus. And I went to the Avid Institute, which was in Dallas, Texas, the past 3 days. I think it was, it was the 17th, 18th, and 19th. Okay. I'm going to come back to the dates in a second because most people was not working on the 19th, but I was working and I had a lot to do that day, but we'll circle back to that in a second. Okay, so some of the strategies is called Wicker. Wicker is writing inquiry, organization, rigor, and collaboration. Those are big deals in the Avid way of teaching. In everything you do, it must incorporate some kind of writing, reading, collaborative work, organization, inquiry, which I gravitated a lot with inquiry and the philosophical chairs and Socratic seminars because my topic, what I teach, really aligns with inquiry and pushing a child to go further in their thinking than they would normally do. So went through that training. It was very fascinating to be invited back again. I started years ago, probably in 2009 or something like that, where I was going in the when they had it in the Austin location. And so they have Avid Institutes in different regions. We had the Northeast and Southern region, I believe, at the Dallas Omni and Hyatt is where we had all our classes, and it downtown Dallas. And boy, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how I don't want to get up early in the morning to go to a training. Now, I was in the I got with some of my teacher friends, and I was like, "Look, I want to make sure that we're on the same page of getting there and all that." And it was very. I feel like I'm a much smarter person now after taking DART from Carrollton, the DART train from Carrollton to Dallas. The topic, girl, is teacher development. And one of the development classes I went to this year was Avid Institute. And I was just talking about that. But anyway, I feel like I'm eon smarter, excuse me, figuring out how this DART system worked, girl. Listen, I was on this train, had to catch this train at 6:41 sharp, or else you have missed that train and you've gone to the next one is coming. So 6:41 sharp, that train left the Carrollton area, and about 1 hour later, we were in our destination. Now we had to get off at a certain point in downtown Dallas and take another train, which was a different color line than we originally started, and make sure we cross the track and get on the other side, and making sure we know how to pay for these tickets. Because look, I'm a car driver. I drive my car, but what I was not going to do was pay $25 a day to go to this institute. And my district was not reimbursing us for parking. So that's $75 a day. Not counting meals. Okay. I already paid for meals just to be in this training because I was way away from home and they didn't have refrigerators or microwave for us to use at the Omni and Hyatt. Now, there were very nice facilities, but we did have to go through some mental and physical acrobatics to get to this professional development. This is our summertime. Now, off contract hours. I am, so during our off-contract hours, we have to have a certain amount of hours in order for our certificate to be updated. We have to have continuing education, so to speak. So just like attorneys, just like doctors, just like any other professional, we also have to have these hours in order to keep our certification. We have to have certification outside of our degree in order to be eligible to teach. We are professionals. A lot of people don't look at it as such, but yes, we do. So I have another professional development that is slated for the end of July. I'm trying to time these so that I can have a little time of making sure that I can get a little vacation time in, which I just came from a little getaway in Florida and had a great time. But I want to talk to you and let you know that there's a plethora of different types of institutes, AP training, AP development, where educators can be developed in advanced placement of their students and get enrichment on their profession so that they can better serve their students. I got good news too today. I mean, it's the summer solstice, so it's officially summer. I got good news that my tutoring clients have all passed their subject areas that I've been tutoring or provided tutoring service through other people for. So I'm very happy about that. My tutoring service is called Time and Attention Tutoring, and that's on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, or you could directly contact me at stephanieRpowell@me.com. Okay. So there are a lot of teachers. Let me talk to you guys about that a little bit. I have a listener here or a watcher here that is talking about how he transitioned out of teaching and how teachers are not valued and things like that. Um, it is true, not just teachers, but all educators are not always valued the way they should. I have a friend who spent her whole career in one school district, and within that school district, she um, grew, developed into the educator that she is. And not only is she touching students' lives, she's touching other educators' lives as an associate principal. Um, Unfortunately, some things went down, and she is transitioning to another school district. And I am so happy for her. I think she's going to blossom where she is. I think, and the transition is way overdue. Um, there's just sometimes where people experience opposition, um, and the opposition is unwarranted. It's just purely out of nepotism and ignorance. And I say ignorance because she didn't they didn't value what she gave to the staff and children in this school district. And I hate that, but it's their loss. And in this world, people have losses and gains, and this was a big loss for them. And another school district gained a great leader. Um, so there's lots of transitioning that happens during the summertime. People make resolutions to themselves and they say, hey, this is what I want from my career. This is what I see myself doing in the future, because it's not always about 100% about just touching lives of students, because you can impact students in so many different ways. You can impact lives in so many different ways. And so there are people who will say that educators are selfish if they choose to do things for themselves. And what I would say to that is, in order for you to be a good educator, you have to be good to yourself. You have to be loving to yourself. You have to put yourself first so that you can be the best educator you can be. Um, Lots of times people would put out in the atmosphere that if you're thinking about yourself, then you are not being the best selfless educator you could be. But I feel like being a good professional is not always about being selfless, but about being the best person for yourself so that you can show up for others the best you can. All too often, I hear and talk to educators who have spent too many decades not taking care of themselves, not developing themselves for the next step in their career, not thinking about their retirement until it's too late, only putting all their eggs in one basket and not thinking about, hey, how can I diversify my retirement? How can I make a way where I'm not going to have one foot in the grave by the time I'm eligible to retire. Because let me just tell you, with these young people now, I think retirement is a combination of your age and service of 90 years. 90 age and service, combination of 90 years. So, say for instance, 45 and 45. That's 90. But most people are not retiring at 45. That's not really the eligible age. I'll be 55 when I'm eligible to retire, and I will be taking retirement at that age. And, and it's not enough. But I have plans, and I am praying for more streams of income that God will bless me with so that things will not be so difficult. I'm not relying on teacher retirement or to get me through life. I know better. I know I can count. So I know that all of the as much as my check goes to TRS, and the increase on healthcare cost and insurance and all of that, inflation is not going to do anything but go up. So what I'm saying, teachers, is that you have to be proactive and developing yourself so that you can put a product out there that other people will find valuable, because you can't guarantee that this teacher retirement is going to get you through. You're going to either have to resolve in budgeting to the point where you are not going to be, you're going to be a peculiar person. You're not going to live life like other people. And then you're going to be able to save, like live off of 30% of your earnings or 40% of your earnings, and save the rest in some way or form, right? Like you can, part of your salary goes to TRS. You can do a Roth IRA, or Roth 401k. You can do other things like invest in other educational ventures, like other teacher development, becoming Adobe certified, becoming Microsoft certified, becoming Google certified. AI is playing a huge part and will continue to grow in education. So it would behoove us to develop ourselves so that we can be competitors, or I wouldn't even say competitors, but at least valuable to our society, to where you can be hired by other entities. I see Glenn Murray, he has transitioned, and it'd be great for him to talk to me more about that so I can interview him on how he transitioned and what he did to develop himself. That'd be great. But that is some of the things that I'm doing to just perfect my craft in the classroom. But I've also have dedicated in really doing more development in myself so I can work on my transition in retirement. I'm passionate about children, and I will always have an impact on children. But I also know that I have to take care of myself too. I also know that I have to be there for my family and friends whenever I can. So I'm trying to be diligent and doing the things that I can so that I am not a burden on my family as I get older. I'm trying to take care of myself. not trying, I am taking care of myself. That is mentally and physically. I'm taking vitamins, I stay active. I read. In fact, y'all, remember last 2 weeks ago when we were talking about summer reading? I am halfway finished with my first book, and I am going to really double down on my reading time so I can get finished with that book by oh gosh, in about 2 weeks. I need to be finished with that book so I can get to my second book and get that taken care of. I'm so excited about the second book too. So I employ you guys, you in the teaching community, and you not even in the teaching community, but heed my words. Do not depend on institutes to take care of you and develop you. It's your responsibility to figure out how you're going to develop yourself for the next step that your career will take you. I mean, we all have to do it. Not just teachers, but everyone. So read a book, listen to NPR, do what you got to do in order to get where you need to be. You can do it. If God woke you up today, that is one extra day that you have to think about, like, what can I do? What has God put before me to help hone in my skills that I already have? If you don't know what your skills are and you just mind blocked on it, go out for a walk. Take note of what you notice. If you're a people person, you're going to automatically talk to people you come across. If you're not, if you're a numbers person, that means you're counting all the things in nature that you see. Take note of what God has put in your hand so that you can develop yourself to be the best person you can be. And I didn't really intend for this session to be a motivational talk, but Lord, that's what I've learned in the last 3 days. Now, circling back to the dates of this institute, which I was a little bit miffed about, because I had a teacher friend of mine say, let's go to the spa. Let's go to the spa on the 19th. So the 19th was an official holiday, federal holiday of Juneteenth. I don't know if everybody listening knows about this, but it is a federal holiday in the United States. Juneteenth is a holiday that, oh my gosh, what's her name? Irma. Oh, I said I was going to remember her name. Now, I didn't grow up in Texas, but this is really big in the state of Texas, where a lot of people who were enslaved did not find out they were free through the law for several years later. I think it was 2 years, 18 months, something like that. And so the date that they learned about freedom was in June, several years later than the proclamation of emancipation. So it is celebrated in Texas, which I never knew anything about it until I moved to Texas, and commemorated in Texas. And there's lots of people celebrate in lots of different ways. Well, banks are closed. And I know a lot of people found it very insensitive for the Avid organization to hold an institute that included Juneteenth. I did attend all 3 days in June for this session. And on the 19th, it was just a half a day, but it was still a half a day that could have been just reserved for a holiday. Now, the Avid organization did say that they make contracts with the facilities such as Omni and the Hyatt years in advance. And I know that is to be true. I know organizations that have to do that. But I also, I don't know. I just feel like it probably could have been handled different than just a billboard saying, how in the future they're going to handle it differently, and they didn't know the law was passed, even though it was what 3 or 4 years ago, before uh, it was passed, after they made these arrangements. I don't know if that's true or not. I what I will say is, if there's another institute um, by this organization and it's over Juneteenth, I will not be participating. Um, so that, there you have it. That's what I'm saying. Um, I don't necessarily barbecue for this occasion, but I do feel like it's important for us to commemorate in whatever way that you feel like you should, because I feel like it was a very, very um, misstep in our government in ensuring that every person knew about their freedom and was able to experience their freedom when the law came down. Neither here nor there, but I told you I was going to circle back to the dates of this teacher development, and that's just what I did. Now, I want to get you guys prepared. In August, I have a super duper guest. Let me see what date. He's coming August 8th. Y'all, I cannot wait. So what I am thankful for with this Avid Institute is that you always have an opportunity to connect with educators, other educators from across the country, but also like just around the way. I ran into an educator who I he was an educator at my high school. I recognized this guy. I was like, I know you from somewhere. And he's like, ah. And I was like, how about Langston University? Well, he did attend my college, but not at the same time when I attended. He is older than I, and actually taught at my high school when I attended high school. And he is still teaching, y'all. He has an over 40-year career in education, and he was at the Avid Institute. And I cannot wait to interview him. I think it's going to be so awesome. I love interviewing males in our educator community. I also love getting their perspective. He's also been a basketball coach for many years. And I'm just so excited to interview him. I cannot wait to bring him on the show. He has taken great care of himself over the years, and he's just an inspiration to those who are really trying to stick it out in education until retirement. So I can't wait to get you guys to hear what he has to say about his career. Well, guys, this is I've come to the end of my presentation about Avid, um, and about, oh yeah, that nepotism in politics is prevalent. Yep, in education. But I've come to the end of this portion on teacher development and how we have to look out for ourselves, because there's so many things that is unfair about this profession, but we can't let that hold us back and let us down and um, keep us from being the showing up as the best people we can be. So I just want to encourage you guys, keep going. And I'll say, just like my old principal, my favorite principal so far anyway, Nick Lasker, he would say, keep fighting a good fight. Keep fighting a good fight. So until next time, guys, I will see you later on Essential Pedagogy. If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me at stephanieRpowell@me.com, and I'll respond and we can chit chat and I'll address whatever you need me to address on the show. Okay? See you next time.